Hello, everyone. I'm Drax. You're tuned in to Draxatron, and I'd like to welcome you to episode 4 of Let's Play The Outer Worlds. I'm glad you're here, chose to visit, and I hope you will enjoy today's adventure. Let's get into it, shall we?
I was hoping for a word.
You want a punch? We've got your
Now,
punch right here.
when we left off our last episode, we had arrived at the groundbreaker, having secured the power regulator that we needed for the unreliable. We landed without any problem, only to find out that apparently someone at the board, the Halcyon board, has ordered our ship impounded, which means we're stuck here until we can get that matter sorted out. Now, the man at the security checkpoint told us we could go talk to Udon Bedford, who is apparently the board's envoy here on the ship. This place is independent of board oversight, and they take their independence very seriously. So basically, Bedford and his bunch are just relegated to a corner here on the promenade. But even still, you see plenty of adverts for all of the companies that are a part of the Halcyon Holdings group that basically established this whole colony. Even still, it's a interesting microcosm of independence, but not quite, I guess you could call it. But before we go any further, let's see what the good vicar has to say. Where are you, vicar?
Captain, if I could trouble you for a moment of your time, while we're on the groundbreaker, I may have an idea for how we could find a translator. I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Baconu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him. That's a good question. Fortunately, we're in the perfect place to start. This is where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures. I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the Philosophist's off-world destination. Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems. Thank you, Captain.
Vicar Max is very good at dancing around his words. He was a prison priest, and he fell in with the wrong crowd, long story short. Now, before we go any further, I see it laying here. We will need this. Also, while we're here, let me double check.
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the scholar shipped in and out with.
He knows who it is. There's a lot of things that he won't tell you until later when he comes to trust you more. But that's alright. Okay. Since we're here, let's talk to Commandant Sunita.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The Mardet's offices aren't for leisure time nor loitering. Got a hot one for you. Captain Gunnar McRed. Just 26 hours old. The posting, that is. Not the criminal. Allegations include several counts of flying under the influence, carrying open alcoholic containers, failure to pay docking fees, resisting arrest, and assaulting not one but 2 officers.
2 whole officers.
Swerving in the air was more like it. Then he crashed hard into the dock and tumbled out of his ship and fled on foot. Spilled Rizzo's Violet Spectrum vodka all over Officer Hartley. An affront of its own, considering none of us are approved for anything higher than green spectrum. Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? Do the legwork. You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me McRed's head, or his lucky lighter, as proof of kill. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Good luck and skip speed to you.
All right. Okay. Since we're here, let's show a little bit about how the holographic shroud works. Now, you'll come across these areas with this holographic sign in front of the doorway. The minute you pass through here, you're in trouble if you get spotted by somebody who is supposed to be in there. In this case, one of the Mardettes. But with Dr. Wells' holographic shroud, you can slip in,
You're an artist, Captain.
take care of what you need to.
There it is. Just yank the drive, and I'll do the rest. Now that we have the data cartridge, I can finally find out where that scholar I'm looking for ended up.
See how it works. For all anybody else knows, barring a more close-up inspection, we're just 3 more Mardettes doing our usual daily routine. The downside, though, is the more you move around, the more it wears down, until eventually it fails completely. Now, believe it or not, that is an item for the ship. I am going to take it.
What do you think you're
Hello.
doing? I don't want any trouble.
Magic. But you only get 3 encounter opportunities to basically, get away with what you're doing. If you steal or do commit a violent act, your shroud drops pretty much automatically. I did take a hit in Groundbreaker reputation, but I think I'll live. No. That door is barred. Excuse me.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt a regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. The board would like to remind citizens and other travelers that...
Shh.
Somebody was trying to fix this up.
Let me get out my slightly heavier weapon. Where is that robot?
That's the last of them.
Okay. Normally, when I would play through, I could get that hula hoop and get out of the storeroom without any problems. I guess on that particular occasion, I got spotted in the act. Somebody must have walked past the door, but that's okay. We will quickly restore our positive reputation with the good people of the Groundbreaker. Now, this green case sitting here on the table, I'll read those in a moment, is the first science weapon you can pick up in the game, the prismatic hammer.
Gosh, ain't that handsome.
It is, isn't it? As a matter of fact, now this weapon, you'll notice, is not stronger than the one Parvati already has. It does have the same special effect. It does a knockdown. But it's worth finding these weapons because some of them are actually quite cool and useful. Some, you just collect them. Others, you'll actually carry them around and use them. Anyway, back to what we have here. Okay, Log 1, Discovery. While rummaging through the back bays, I discovered a very old hammersmith crate that seemed to have been sealed for a very long time. A bit of elbow grease and determination pried it open, but I couldn't make heads or tails of my discovery. A prototype hammer. I didn't know Hammersmith actually made hammers, but I brought it to my lab for a closer look. How strangely it glows. The trail of its wake lingers even when my eyes are closed. Log 2, Mystery. I've spent more time on the hammer. Its internal workings are state-of-the-art, thermal, electrical, and chemical systems all working in harmony. How is this even possible? The weapon is a breakthrough in circuitry and engineering, and many of its systems appear rigged against tampering. There's a curious energy signature swirling about the weapon, though I have yet to identify the source. The air tastes of copper, and I have lost several teeth. Well. Log 3, Troubles. I have had the most sublime prismatic dreams since I invited the hammer into my bedchamber. Never mind that for now. Good news first. The energy signature matches Blondio's elusive N-rays, raising the hammer's elemental properties to 4: shock, plasma, corrosion, and radiation. Now for the bad. In my attempts to neuter the self-destruct functionality, I inadvertently caused a small fire. The hammer's manual controls may never function again. Swinging it seems to be the only way of cycling through its elemental modes. I must take greater care with future experiments. Log 4, Annihilation. I've taken the liberty of locking myself in the workshop. My tinkerings were all for naught. This is no prototype. I am simply too flawed to recognize its perfections. The hammer is a lesson, a symbol. It whispers to me that disorder rules all things, but with a little ambition we can harness that power. Only by inflicting chaos upon others can we transmute disorder into harmony, and that is a lesson Halcyon is not ready to hear. Anyway, see what's in these 2 containers down here. Aha. Why, Vicar, you have a positive glow about you. Now we can open that door we saw earlier. That was barred. I'll shut y'all's door. I didn't do that earlier. Now then.
Rizzo's Knock You Out Bar. A CCN 76 milk chocolate bar with caramel and pea-free nuts in it. It's time for a KYO.
CCN 76, I've wondered more times than once what exactly that was, but then I recollected that there was an item, I can't remember where it was found. Basically, it was like every other product, a weird, tongue-in-cheek reference to some real-world item. It was a brand of milk that used a certain kind of cacao beans, CCN 76s, and I just find it funny that instead of just saying cocoa chocolate, they say CCN 76. It's like, okay, that's nice. Keep things all scientific. Now, before we do anything else, let's give this data cartridge to the vicar.
Got it. His name is Reginald Cheney, and he joined a sublight salvage crew. Only he's not listed on the return manifest. Must have made landfall somewhere he wasn't supposed to. Ah, yes. Here. There's a domicile on Monarch in Fallbrook, rented to the same bit card he used to buy his seat on the salvage ship. I should have guessed. What better place to lay low if you wish to avoid the authorities?
It's going to be a while before we get to Monarch.
Oh, it's nothing. I suppose I really didn't have much faith in actually finding him. Was a bit of a long shot, wasn't it? I admit it was a bit of a long shot, but when you've spent as many hours as I have in contemplation of the universe's secrets, you sometimes get a sense for these things.
Alright, that clears that out of the way for the time being. As I said, we won't be able to go to Monarch for some time, so we're just going to switch off of that. First things first, since we're here to speak to her, we'll talk to Gladys Cole Kelly.
When might we expect you out here again? Ooh, can we rent an upstairs room?
We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Do you have what it takes to defend
Bless my heart. A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient, or an oven. Just like store-bought. Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. For the time being, at least. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you find yourself lacking in the bits, I might have an opportunity you'd be interested in. Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. But if you've got qualms... Do you know Edna, over in engineering? Sweet as a pea, that one. On occasion, she'll pass along transmissions I might find interesting. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker's comm array. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years ago. Can't say I know for sure. Maybe it never really was.
Sounds like someone poking into somewhere they shouldn't be got into a spot of trouble.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress call manually.
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the board from sniffing around. Edna didn't seem to think so, and I trust the dear girl's judgment. Well, maybe not in men, but she knows her comms. So, like as not, someone's been down there recently. And if someone set up shop in Roseway, I'd wager they got something to hide. Maybe whatever they're hiding went to heck, and now they need a few spare hands to clean up the mess. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. corporate bigwigs will pay top bit for inside information on their competitors. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs. My goodness, aren't you quick on the uptake? I like that. Should you find yourself responding to a certain distress call, and in so doing find yourself in possession of certain valuable corporate secrets, well, then we ought to have a chat over a pot of tea and my famous cookies. Law bless your atoms. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the coordinates. Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done. Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. She's been trying to get a handle on this heat problem we've got. You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a sweet girl, but law forfend someone call me a liar.
Don't let the sweet granny routine fool you. Gladys Culkelly is a very cunning and crafty lady. I mean, she's not like, evil or anything, but if anyone knows what's going on, it's definitely her.
I've got a lovely little throw pillow. Just something I toss together. Like to keep my hands busy.
Now, this right here, the Hephaestus Mining Archive cartridge, that has some information on it that will send you to Scylla, which is on the outskirts of the Halcyon system. I am going to pick that up. Mag picks. We'll pick up a couple. All right. Let's be about it. One thing you can't say for the Halcyon system, their washroom facilities are most definitely not luxurious. But like with any such
I had a question
place,
about your plan, Mr. Vicker.
Of course. The cosmos
there's always
is generated and
areas
directed
to
by
poke
the
around in and
universal
find hidden
equation,
goodies.
also known as the Grand Plan. By contemplating the teleological order of things, one can achieve verity. Oh, right. You had a question?
Never mind. That about answers it.
Squatter's Journal. I served on 2 corporate freighters before I got stranded here. Everyone's heard my sob story, but no one's listening. To them, I'm just background radiation. Wasn't my fault the captain decided to take off early. Wasn't my fault no one checked the crew manifest. Wasn't my fault they replaced me with a full-timer. Now I'm filthy, bitless, and bedless. Far as anyone's concerned, I'm groundbreaker trash. That's how I live. And if no one agrees to take me on as crew, I suppose that's how I'll die. I guess the poor fella
Easy does it.
went off somewhere and ended everything, as much as I hate to say it. Oh, cute, the happy sisty pig. Now, should you require it, oh dear, this is a back entrance to the sick bay, the infirmary. We won't go that way yet, but we do have to go over there. Let me find it. Yeah, Dr. Wanda Dorset. Somebody could come in and tidy up just a little bit. Definitely could tidy up just a little bit. Vicar, you're having garment problems. Yeah. I haven't talked to him before.
How do you do? And welcome to the Rest and Go. We used to be the Go and Rest, but folks never knew when to leave. Sorry. Business has been slow. Anything to occupy the time. Of course. Most of our supplies come and go through merchants. Company ships and salvage runs are the only traffic we tend to get. I try and steer clear of that creepy fellow in the moon mask. If there's a cost to being a company man, he paid it in spades.
He's talking about the Spacer's Choice mascot.
Fine, as long as the board keeps its grubby mitts to itself. Chief Tennyson holds the ship together, the Promenade holds our economy together, and Sublight is the shoddy jewel in our rusty old crown. Our Chief Tennyson has an independent streak, same as her mother and grandmother who rode this ship on the crossing. There's a reason the board's embassy is a glorified shoebox. While Junlei Tennyson lives and breathes, Groundbreaker remains free. Our local garbage collectors. That Lilia Hagen never met a debris field she didn't like. She freely admits she planted her roots in Groundbreaker to escape board oversight. But I think there's more to it. She's unusual in the head, that one.
Sounds a bit shady to me. Alright, moving on. Oh. Well, that's nice. Okay. Here's the creepy fella in the moon mask, poor old Martin Callahan. Forgive me for what I'm about to do, but everyone needs to see this at least once.
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a 0G brew extra refreshing. It's an ale that's good for what ails you. Oh, and it's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice. Taste the freedom. A lot of slogans to keep track of. Sometimes I forget.
If ever there was somebody that gave their life for the corporate machine, it's this poor bastard right here.
Heard of it? My orientation Aetherwave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I'm sure smells as good as it looks.
That's true.
Yeah. I hope they're gonna be okay.
That's the Spacer's Choice spirit. Take what you have, polish it up, and make the best of it. So, what can I get you? Some soap? Everyone loves soap. Everyone will love you for using it, too.
No denying that logic.
I'm bound to satisfy headgear-related inquiries. Please send any complaints to our Consumer Care Headwear Division.
That's oddly specific. Anyway, about what I said about forgive me for what I'm about to do, here we go.
Oh, I'm having a stellar day. And not just because I'm legally obligated to say so. Almost as stellar as a Spacer's Choice is affordable. I can see all of the top quality merchandise in the Spacer's Choice catalog, which is available here at a reasonable price. Spacer's Choice regrets that we don't sell toothpaste at this time, but we're always working on delivering exciting new products to our customers. Spread wash, mouthwash, and Mantafloss are among the exciting line of dental goods currently in development.
No, I think we'd have to go to Auntie Cleo's for toothpaste.
Don't miss out on these deals. You'll find none like them on all of Groundbreaker, or anywhere in the Halcyon colony. Trouble sleeping? Try our Lunar Eclipse mix. That's 2 handfuls of pep pills washed down with a hearty swig of 2-hour energy brew. The blast will send you through the stratosphere, and the crash will knock you out cold, guaranteed.
Sounds like some of those energy drinks they used to sell back when I was in high school.
Add an additional 10% to your purchase today, and the proceeds will be donated to Spacer Cares, our premier corporate welfare program. At Spacer's Choice, we care about your health and emotional well-being. That's why we put Martin through 6 years of vendor school, only to make him wear this hat.
Okay, I think this is... Yeah, here we go.
Even if my contract didn't forbid it, I think it's part of me now. Now, are you ready to make Spacer's Choice Lunar Green Moonmouth lozenges a part of you? Lunar Green, the future is spearmint.
All right, brace yourself, folks. Here we go.
Damn it. No slogan for that one. Look, this hat, my job. It may not seem like much to a brave space captain, but they're all that I have. If there are self-made purgatories, then we all have to live in them. Mine can be no worse than someone else's. Now, if we're done with the chit-chat, I hope you don't mind if I make the most of this short life and try to be the best moon person I can be. It's fine. I should be stronger than this. Thanks for taking an interest. Speaking of interest, can I interest you in some quality budget goods? At Spacer's Choice, we cut corners so you don't have to. Have a look.
I couldn't do the other dialogue tree to him. There's literally one where no matter what he says or how high his volume is, you keep asking him, I can't hear you, speak up, and he'll start screaming at the top of his lungs, the Spacer's, it's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice, taste the freedom. Poor guy. I just couldn't do that to him. I feel bad enough for him standing around all day in that silly mask flogging Spacer's Choice goods. But hey. Now here is the Moon Man helmet. We will not be buying one of those. I did that once. I wore it around for a little while as I was doing tasks on the Groundbreaker. And I felt like an absolute nonce for doing it. Okay, here's the med bay.
Are you listening to me, Emfuru? You can't get me out of there.
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene. I'm sorry. Am I causing a scene? See, Emfuru? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jessie in the first place. Let me get one thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay? As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors. Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
Okay. I know things are all kind of sideways in the Outer Worlds, but here we are in the medical bay, in the room where the patients are cared for, and the doctor is standing here puffing on a square. Okay. It's like a flashback to the 50s and 60s when you could smoke in hospitals.
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter, Captain? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble with our delivery service.
I'm going to be gentle about this.
He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into another scrape. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna get my service mechanicals at this rate. I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws.
Alright, there's another task for us to take care of. We will come back to Ellie's friend directly. Right now, though, let's go and see.
Repairs going.
Just plugged the last of the O2 leaks. I'm ready.
Junlei Tennyson. That lift right there leads to the back bays. Junlei is through here, where apparently they're having a heat problem.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regular...
Those XF411s? And an old Yakita 37? You think they'd let me peek at the power plant?
Because she remembers you. When you were sick, who took your temperature? When you were hungry, who gave you a needle full of love? Auntie Cleo, that's who. Have you given your auntie a hug today? This has been Halcyon News, your only source for news in the Halcyon colony.
Alright then, I believe this is...
Good law, the heat in here is so unbearable I can hardly even concentrate. Junlei better hurry up with those damn repairs already.
Thought there'd be more machinery. Must be housed on a sub-level.
I could spend all day in here and not have looked at half the best stuff. It's all pretty worn, though.
Here's Chief Tennyson.
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker doesn't see many visitors. No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any problems while you're visiting.
No, none at all.
Good. Don't go making trouble, and chances are you won't find any. That's how I like it here. So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just passing through. Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right weapon for the job. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going, most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders. You seem different, so welcome aboard. Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated air into my ship. Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me into a corner. None. Every time I give in to the board, Groundbreaker loses its freedom. Soon there won't be anything left. I can't allow that. The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker, everyone aboard, will be cooked alive. Reasonable, huh? That's the best news I've heard all day. According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bays.
How convenient. We have a task that leads us there already. I am bound to say this, though.
The back bays are on a lower deck, long abandoned and a haven for miscreants now. Good. Once you've obtained the parts, we can proceed to the next phase of repairs.
Before we go, though.
Speak your mind. Honestly, I could use the distraction.
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei. Chief Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if... Well, maybe you could teach me some things. I could message you later, maybe?
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
Oh my.
Wow, great. I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Oh, your name's pretty too. I should have said... Sorry. I like it. Honest. Sorry.
Bless her.
This is Halcyon News.
Uh-oh. More
We
news.
interrupt a regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Reports from concerned supervisors indicate that rates of time theft are on the rise. We urge all of our listeners to remember that lack of productivity is not a victimless crime. Workers should be on the lookout for slacking and underperformance. Report anyone you suspect of time theft to your supervisor immediately. This story brought to you by Halcyon News. All the news that's fit to broadcast.
Well, all right then. We need to go down to the back bays anyway. McRed is just ahead.
Hey, McRed, were you expecting any company? A neighbor from above approaches our realm. Back away now, or you'll parley with the king.
Okay. Are you going to speak? Yes? No?
Look at this ripe piece of meat just sizzling on the grill. Yum, yum. Time to feed the flames. It's nothing personal. Promise.
Is this what carbon monoxide poisoning looks like? I don't think this deck is too well ventilated.
Speaking for myself, Captain, I am not of a mind to be murdered by a psychopath who plays with fire.
You came with the crew. Welcome. We got plenty of space to spread out, but only room for one captain. I know this ain't a toy, neighbor from above. It's a catalyst, just like me. Keep talking. I like the sound of your voice.
That's right, sir. Just the parts. We'll be in and out in a jiff. You won't even know we were here.
Tennyson just keeps feeding the furnace, don't she? We're still playing with her last sacrifice out back, with the crew. You don't just ask a king for a favor when you're standing in his court. You bring tribute, sacrifices, prophecy, shit like that.
I can either bribe him or kill him. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not giving him 712 bits, so I'll just kill him and take the parts.
Oh.
Oh, Parvati, get out of the way. Hold still, Parvati.
Well done. We're still alive.
Okay. That went cleaner than I remember it doing in the past. I wonder why that's classified as stealing. All right. Red.
Even the proverbial unwashed masses would turn their noses up at this place. Or cut them off.
Now we need to locate those parts that Junlei is looking for.
I guess I'm honored.
Feels like...
Oh, go on, fight!
All right. That terminal is not working. What's this? Junior mycologist's log. When I settled on Groundbreaker, I thought this would be my gateway to the stars, the beginning of my epic tale as a spacer. Now I grow shrooms for a bunch of outlaws. Not even for selling. They just eat the damn things by the handful. Some of the crew have been tripping for weeks. Suppose it could be worse. Heard of a sublight contractor who got dissolved in chemicals and flushed down waste treatment for stealing from Lilia. Now McRed, he's always happy to see me. Calls me his fungus lad. Update. MacRed just set a man on fire for having his laces undone. Shit. Maybe I need to be more careful about what I'm growing. Ought to find something that calms him down. Time to experiment. I don't think it went all that well. Ah, shoot. Might find a use for it, might not. What did I already? Yeah. Okay. Now. Oh, an axe. I will nick that mag pick. And that one. Now, for anyone who might be wondering...
Can you imagine being frozen for 10 years, sailing through space in a room such as this?
You can't quite see into it very far. But this was the Groundbreaker's equivalent of that room on the Hope where Dr. Wells retrieved us at the start of the game. Basically, all the folks who did get unfrozen who call the Halcyon colony home now, and their predecessors, came from here. Let's see. Now I think the radiator parts are up above us, but something bit me. Oh, get away.
the left.
Okay. Now we flush them out, I guess. Bad mechanical.
What was that?
Look out!
Thank you.
I'm with Junlei. Haven't seen any new faces down here since I arrived. Not sure how long ago that was. McRed tends to incinerate anyone who comes by. I'll get back to my post. See you topside, stranger.
Oddly enough, I don't remember that person from before, but I'm not going to complain.
Easy.
You know what? We'll just pick up all that muck. Oh, cute. PT. Oh, look. Goodies for the grocery. Okay, let's go back up top. Grab the parts we need. I mean, who's going to tell me it's stealing? Aha.
Fantastic, we've got them. Now we can move on to cleaner pastures.
Yes, we can. Yeah. It's really not the end of the world if I nick stuff from down here, because there's nobody down here to tell me it's thievery. I have plenty of things to sell for some extra bits, though. Alright, back up to the promenade. And back to Junlei. Odd those doors are wide open. Usually when I come back through here, they're closed.
You've returned, and in one piece. Color me impressed. Good work. I'll take those. I need you to head through the large door at the far end of engineering. Take the elevator down into the machinery shaft. There's a terminal in the back. Activate it when I call over the ship's PA. And bring weapons. There's a slight mantipillar infestation.
Don't worry, Miss Junlei. We'll be super gentle with the ship. You don't got a thing to worry about. I mean, aside from fires and such.
I'm genuinely heartened to hear that. Thank you.
Alright, now to repair the Groundbreaker's radiator problem. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. I'm curious, though. I picked up that outfit. The refined Byzantite. I wonder what that looks like. Oh my, fancy. Aha, there we go. A little bit heavier, better survivability. Does it need to be... No, it doesn't. Okay. Then we are, for the moment, in good shape. Now to go down below. Complete with elevator music. How about that? now.
The controls are in the back of the machinery shaft area. Keep clear of the radiators. You don't need to kill the mantipella's, but I'd be mighty grateful if you did. I've got this thing about giant insects.
What do we got here? Arrival confirmation to HHB Earth headquarters, transmitted via probe archived at source. It is my honor to report that Groundbreaker has successfully arrived at Lagrange Point, having released our cargo of prefab housing, settlers, and supplies of their intended colony worlds. May they prosper and expand. Now that stages 1 and 2 of the mission have been carried out, my family will take ownership of the Groundbreaker as specified in our contract, keeping the ship in active duty as an independent trading post, repair shop, and cargo bay. I'd be remiss if I closed this transmission without sending my hopes and best wishes back to Earth. There's so much ahead of us, but we'll never forget what we left behind. Chief Guiying. A stern reminder. Some very rich and unsavory elements among our colonial neighbors seem to have the wrong idea about why I flew us out here. It wasn't for a 9-figure blood money salary and a Spacer's Choice logo stamped on my ass. It wasn't to nickel and dime passing ships out of their last bit. Groundbreaker has no role in the success or failure of Halcyon's corporate entities, period. I negotiated that understanding and clearly outlined it in writing before I ever set foot on this ship. If anyone wants to dispute or compromise our independence, they will answer to a Tennyson. We're a family operation. Even when the last Tennyson falls, Groundbreaker will remember us and defend its freedom accordingly, Chief Guiying. I guess that was Junlei's mother, grandmother. I hear one, but I don't see it. Huh. Very odd.
Here they come!
Where? Oh. Let me see what I can do about getting up there to them.
Wow, not even a scratch.
Yeah, those look quite hot. Of course, I'd be remiss not to at least look, find anything potentially useful. Now,
Good news? Song tells me the security mechanicals booted up and killed a bunch of mantis. Bad news. Diagnostic says their circuit boards are fused from the heat, so they're not too picky about who they kill next. Sneak past if you can. Shoot back if you need to. I can always fix them later.
fair enough.
Date sweeping.
Won't get any mercy.
That one's rather stubborn, isn't it?
Let's go after them.
Okay, well, that was nice. I think this... Okay, that door's barred. Go up and over. Actually, let me... Where was that other... Yes.
We are victorious.
Vicar, I do need to look at giving you a... you do have a sawed-off shotgun. Why in the world are you not using it? Okay, real quick.
That's the terminal. I have the parts in position on my side. Go ahead and cycle the droplet pumps. And if you don't know what that means, just look for a command that says cycle droplet.
No kidding. Cobbled together, the staff is getting restless. Workaround and half-cocked solutions are all we've got to mend Groundbreaker's bones. In many cases, we can't revive one system without cannibalizing another. Grandma lived with that reality, and so will I. I can rally our spirits, but what happens when I'm not around? Groundbreaker's real test will be seeing if our independence outlasts me. I'll take that bet. Junlei Tennyson. Old plans, new problems. Found some of Chief Gai-Ying's old schematics. Groundbreaker must have taken a beating during the crossing, because she spent half of her career patching it up. A lot of corners cut when they put this place together. Among her papers, I also found the layout of a hangar that doesn't match any of my docks, something that might have gotten sealed off along the way, like blood cells isolating an infection. I hate to put sentiment down in print, but every time I open a panel or find some workaround in the guts of this old bird, it's like I can feel you reaching out to me from the past, Grandma. All right, then. Okay. Yeah, you can't sneak very well in heavier armor. I'll have to find me some slightly better mid-grade armor eventually. Let's see. Since he's in the habit apparently of swinging that telescopic staff of his more than using his shotgun. And of course I say that, now he'll probably switch to doing nothing but using his shotgun. Time for some elevator music. Considerably cooler in here now.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Tossball finals are scheduled to air soon, but a scandal has rocked the league and thrown this pivotal game into question. Both teams have tested negative for performance-enhancing stims. A tossball first. Coaches and referees are debating how and if this behavior could lead to an unfair advantage. You've been listening to Halcyon News, your mandated duty as a good citizen of Halcyon.
All right, then.
My boards are returning to green. What a weight that is off my shoulders. I don't normally tolerate outsiders mucking about in my station's guts, but you're all right. The temperature should be dropping as we speak. I'll see to it the crew knows who kept us all from boiling alive. If you've got time, I believe Edna has a comms issue that could use your attention. I've also authorized Doc and Furu to sell you our premium meds.
Thank you. We'll be on our way then. I believe this is Edna.
You aiming to send a message? If so, we best do it now while we still got time. Me? No. But our relaying capabilities? That's on the final countdown. We're going offline in 3, 2, 1.5... No. Wait, I've lost track of my weeks. Maybe it was 36 or... sometime dire soon.
Okay.
Our primary relay station's soon to be occluded by a gas giant. Happens every 40 years or thereabouts. The event's forecasted to last for months, during which we'll lose signal to the station.
That'll put the whole system in a right dire situation.
We've got backup auxiliary relays, but the one currently in orbital range went offline some months ago. We can't spare people for routine maintenance. Yeah, I'm working on it. I finally got the chief to approve the budget for a diagnostic expedition. But allocating the personnel loss for sending a technical team to the relay station keeps getting denied by Junlei. The chief. I should say no, but why not? Maybe you can figure out why it's offline. I'll send you with an equipment manual. Hopefully we'll get lucky, or I'll get my approval in time.
Hope you don't mind if I borrow that manual when you're done with it, Captain. I could do with some leisure reading.
Oh, and I'll need you to retrieve a copy of the relay's backup data. I gotta forward any messages from Earth stored in the memory. Better late than never, eh? The relay stations orbit the edge of the Halcyon system, so they tend to receive the majority of any transmissions from Earth. I'm sure the station's got a stack of junk messages just waiting for me to sort through.
All right, then. I'm off. And before we head to the...
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker.
These stairs are board property. Disperse now, or I'll detain you for trespassing.
Oh, real scary. You're really gonna arrest us on our station?
Yeah, this is Chief Junlei's ship. You don't own shit here.
Step back. I'm required by board bylaws to use excessive force.
The Mardettes would space you for trying, you waste of O2 scrubbers.
Yeah, O2 scrubbers.
Look, just get out of here before I tell your captain what you've been getting up to on the clock.
Ah, whatever. We got a date at the Lost Hope anyway.
Is this really what you want to be doing with your life, Marcy? Guarding stairs for that walking mustache Udon fucking Bedford? I gotta get off this detail.
Well, all right then. Since we're going to see a bored toff, let's dress the part.
I'm just gonna hang in the back and try not to touch anything.
You'd think the board and its agents would be more content, sitting at the top of the system's food chain as they are.
Concerned citizens often ask why there aren't enough new faces in the house.
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not he. Has something happened to my favorite scruffy freelancer?
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh no, this is terrible. My dear friend, what devilry is this? In whose miserable fever dream am I trapped?
Seems a bit personal.
Oh, Alex. There were so many arguments we'd yet to have. He was my dearest friend. My only friend. You have his ship, you must know. That picture of us on the promenade, me hugging him, him wincing. I keep a copy beside my bed. Did he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Ah, that's just like him. Such a sentimental man. Tell me, how did he die? Oh, awful business that. But why? How? No. Best not to ask after the gory details. Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where Wells might be? Anything at all?
It might be for the best that Alex did die in that escape pod accident, because if Udom is telling the truth, Alex was going to grass Dr. Wells up for whatever reward the board was offering for information on his whereabouts.
You haven't read the posters? He's a terrorist, a thief, a madman. It's really in the colony's best interest that we stop him before he does further harm.
Nope, I'm not going to help him out.
That's... well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me. Is there anything else I might help you with?
No, that's it. Moving right along. Now, we do have the money to purchase that nav key to Monarch, but I'm not spending 10,000 bits on that for the time being. Let's go to see the Commandant about that reward for taking down McRed. And then we will make a side trip to Scylla to get the equipment that Dr. Dorset said she needed.
How goes the hunt? I've been ruminating on it, and I decided, if you ain't killed McRed yet, I want you to hurt him a little before you do. Nothing excessive, mind you, but the scoundrel deserves a light beating at least before he kicks off.
I can safely say that he took more than a light beating.
I believe I'm growing fond of you, bounty hunter. If you got the Mardets' backs, the Mardets have got yours. Here's the bounty payout. Nice work down there. With any luck, we can hire more sharp-eyed bounty hunters like you in the future.
Pleasure doing business with you. Now, stop by the vending machine and sell off some junk.
You see we had a conveyor pull in? One of them interstellar jobs.
Hard to miss something that big. Guess your shuttle bay crews have been working overtime?
Yeah, but they're happy about it. Been 3 months since the last one.
3 months? I thought you said conveyors came in every 2 months.
And that was last year. This year's different.
Another little subtle hint that not all is well in the galaxy abroad. And what is this?
Hey, you got a second?
Felix?
Fancy running into you again. Don't mind me. It's just admiring your ship from up close. Gotta hand it to you, boss. That's a fine-looking ship. Only thing it's missing is me.
Okay.
Yes, I absolutely am. Just give me a shot. That's all I'm asking. I could be the best damn crew you ever hired.
This could be funny.
You're serious. You're giving me a shot. All right. Hang on. I put together a little speech, just in case you asked. Hey there. I'm Felix Millstone. I have prepared a list of reasons why I believe you should hire me to join the crew of your ship and/or outlaw gang. Firstly, I am highly personable, and I get along well with anyone who is not of the jackass persuasion.
Sorry. He's funny.
Secondly, I can be counted on in the event of a firefight, standoff, and/or raid. My motto is, if you need a steady gun hand, I'm your man. That motto is it's a work in progress.
Okay.
Additionally, I have several years of experience as a box hauler. This skill may come in handy if you need a body dragged away or a door held open while escaping enemy fire. In conclusion, thank you for considering me for your ship crew and/or outlaw gang. I look forward to our adventures together.
I thought that was real good, Felix.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. What do you think? Am I in?
Oh, how could I say no to such an earnest face?
Wow. You don't know how long I've been waiting to hear that. Thanks, boss. You're not gonna regret this. I'll just gather my personals and meet you on board. This is gonna be great.
You got a crew now, Felix.
And he left his personals sitting right there, but I assume they'll be on the ship when we take off. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't really know. Never noticed before. Okay. Now...
Please, would you kindly inform the crew that long chats with Ada are not required every time the captain leaves the ship?
Bless. Okay. And while we're here, let's read the terminal. No messages for me. Messages for Alex. Alex is unread. Oh, there's one from Udom Bedford. From Udom Wingman's Wingman Bedford to Alex Wingman Hawthorne. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to mention in my previous message, silly me, I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite serial, The Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about a dashing space pirate with a heart of, well, steel. It's not exactly board approved, so don't you go showing it around to your spaceship buddies. I hope it will amuse you while you're out adventuring. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. Udom. Archive. Oh, my God. Udom's got a serious thing for Hawthorne, don't he? Dearest Alex, I can't tell you how pleased I am to finally hear from you. Your message was hilarious. I'm delighted by your sense of humor and the tale of your hijinks. I hope your terminal will cooperate for the foreseeable future. By the by, I was scraping Groundbreaker's comms network for tasty little tidbits, and I noticed you declined to dock at Edgewater's landing pad and instead touched down in the wilderness. You rugged individualist, you. I only pray that idiot Thompson wasn't giving you any trouble. Anyway, I hope your meeting down on Terra 2 proves fruitful, and I look forward to corresponding with greater regularity. Your best friend, Udom. I guess that was right before I unceremoniously landed on him. Hello, hello. Alex, I don't know where you were raised, but I'd hazard to guess it may have been a barn, because anyone with even a modicum of decent rearing would know it's unforgivably rude to ignore the ardent, sincere messages of one's friends. Best Udom. P.S. Please respond. Dear Alex, hello, hello. Hope this finds you well. It was a pleasure to see you in my office again last week. Once again, I'm terribly sorry about the impounding mix-up. How could it have happened a second time? Terminals these days, I swear. Dreadfully unreliable. Aha, just like your ship. I hope you've given some thought to that thing we discussed, you know, about the Wells fellow. I'm so sorry to press, but I have the strangest tickling feeling that you really do know him. And if you could just tell me where he is, well, it would be marvelous for our friendship, wouldn't it? Looking forward to seeing you again, wingman. Your dear friend, Udom. And last but not least, dear Alex, hello, Udom here, Udom Bedford. When we met, when I accidentally impounded your ship, my silly fat fingers embarrassing me once again. I hope that wasn't too terribly inconvenient for you. It was such a pleasure for me, and I tremendously appreciate your forbearance in not throttling me. You really are quite the gentleman. Well, we did pass up on an opportunity to tell him we were going to wring his neck and call him a miserable sprat fuck, but we won't go there. If you're ever in Groundbreaker's airspace, well, space, please don't hesitate to look me up. The Lost Hope serves Spectrum vodka. Perhaps we could try every color, you know, really tie one on. Let me know. Your new friend, Udom. Look, there's no call for shouting. My terminal was busted. Had a few too many and might have knocked it off the desk. You know how it is. Sometimes you just gotta cut loose. I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay off. Buy me a drink at the Lost Hope next time I'm in, and I might forgive you, A.H. That lying bastard told me that, although unintentionally, he did also say in so many words that he at least knows Wells, even if he doesn't know where he is. Now, what have we got here? Captain's note, SW001, shrink ray. Note to self, remember this later. No, better, Ada, remind me weekly to check this log until I tell you to stop. Yes, I mean continually. No, Ada, not if I'm dead. Why would you even ask me that? Back to my point. I saw in actuality with my own two eyes, or a sublimely powerful weapon in Wells' lab. So he does know where he hides out. Just sitting there for the taking. If the gray hair were to look away or forget about it, maybe. Or if I had asked a smidgen more nicely. He called it a shrink ray, but wouldn't let me test that claim after I lost my temper. Said he was inspired to create the thing by the achievements of other scientists who dared to push the boundaries of human knowledge and decency laws. I had heard rumors of fantastical weapons like this one, weapons that push the boundaries of the mind and science's cutting edge, but I figured they were just stories, to be honest. Laying eyes on Wells' shrink ray firsthand is enough to make a fellow wonder if there's more to the rumors. More to be had. A.H. Here's one. Captain's note, SW002, hammer power. The last time I got sloshed, I was imbibing at the Lost Hope on the Groundbreaker. Look, Udom was really free with the drinks. He seems like an okay fellow. I shamelessly but subtly eavesdropped on two Mardettes, yammering on about a mad scientist some years back who'd claimed he'd made a huge discovery that would change the fate of the colony. Like none of us had heard that one before. But here is the good part. The Mardettes said the mad scientist kept yelling about the hammer's power or something similar. A strange weapon with a special power created by a crazy lab coat. Sure fits the bill. It could be another one of the weapons that inspired Wells. A.H. And I think that's the one we've already picked up. Captain's note, SW003, black market leads. Why won't Wells just give the shrink ray to me? Blast him to the depths of the labyrinth on Tartarus and back. Let the record show I did apologize for shouting him down 5 times, but architect be damned, it's just sitting there neglected and gathering dust. I should have commandeered it and thanked him without asking permission or breaking expensive equipment when he said it wasn't ready yet, and that even if it were, he couldn't entrust it to someone like me. What does that even mean, I ask? That I'm not trustworthy enough? That I'd use it to wipe out the good hard-working folks of the colony like some sort of moralless psycho? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he's misplaced it. In the meanwhile, I have been tracking down additional rumors pertaining to others of these science weapons throughout Halcyon. If gossip holds true, my next step will be to check with the black market merchants on the Groundbreaker and in Fallbrook, AH. And now, last but not least, Hephaestus Mining Archive cartridge for keyword weapon. Let's see. Hephaestus Geological Survey, Site Archive, keyword search results, result number 1 from the site supervisor's personal logs. That captain sold Harris something called the Rearranger, then left before we discovered the damn thing doesn't work. Only thing it rearranged is the number of bits on Harris's cart. Looks like some strange tech or a weapon. Maybe a scientist can make something of it. Result number 2 from the site safety officer's incident report. Doc Caulfield couldn't save Lim. Now I gotta arrest Harris for his murder. Confiscated that weapon he used and stored it in Birdie's office for now. Figured least the site supervisor can do is fill out the forms for whatever that damn thing is. Don't know how I'm gonna detain Harris. Not like we got prison cells on this rock. Result number 3 from Barber's Coronary Inquest. Given name Lemuel, feminine name Hereford. Employment status indenture. Contract term 35 years, 2 months, 16 days, 5 hours, 33 minutes approximately remaining. Time of deceasement 18:27 hours approximately. Cause of deceasement, blunt force trauma, weapon unknown. Took a good whack to the noggin. The facial area, to be specifical about it. It's all twisted up too. Nose is 5 times too big, jaw is shrunk to almost nothing. Teeth are all out of kilter, though I suppose that was true pre-deceasement. If the blow itself didn't kill him, there's no way he could have breathed with all that damage. Jesus, what kind of weapon is this thing? Alright then. Weapons from the Void is a recurring quest that we will encounter hints and clues for throughout the course of the game that will lead us to more science weapons like that delightful hammer that we found hidden on the Groundbreaker. Now I believe this is Felix's room. He's got a thing for Rizzo's purple berry. The Vicar now has the pyramid and the vial. Nobody in here yet, or here. Though I am curious. Now that's the saber from the community center outside of Edgewater. I'm curious where that hula hoop ended up. There's our little friend. Oh, very strange. It's laying around on the ship here somewhere. Let's see. Is that? Oh yeah, cigarettes. All right then. Actually, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and pay a visit to that mysterious secondary communications relay that fell oddly quiet some time back. And we will stick with the folk we have for the time being. Here we are, Relay Golf Bravo 23.
It's a touch different from the ones I've seen. Shouldn't be so hard to get it patched up, though.
This is an unmanned station, right?
Certainly doesn't look like it's unmanned. Or at least if it's supposed to be unmanned. What's this? Security Auto Mechanical Manual. The instructions printed in this manual have been covered by a mostly illegible scrawl. Entire paragraphs are crossed out with frantic lines of dark ink. In some places, the pages are torn through from the force of whoever wielded the pen. One section describing the correct procedures for setting automechanicals on a proper charging schedule is mostly untouched. Random letters within the text are circled, as though the owner were trying to discover some message hidden within. What's this? Frey's Journal, a beautiful dream. Last night I dreamed, and it was beautiful. The streets of Byzantium were decorated with crimson streamers that laughed in the breeze. They asked me to take them, to give them to my special ones. I gathered the crimson in my arms and felt so alive, so happy. I turned, and Delilah was beside me. I did not question why my supervisor was there, her eyes so full of the emotions I know she feels but dares not show at work. I wrapped her neck in crimson, tying it tight as a scarf on a cold day, so beautiful. Then the crimson on her neck opened as a second mouth and began screaming. When I awoke, I was scared. The dreams are so real now. And this time I recognized a face. I had to leave work early today. Every time I looked at Delilah, I heard a whisper in my mind about how beautiful she would look with a touch of crimson on her neck. Her neck. This must stop. This is not who I am. This is not who I will become. I must find help. Ugh, sounds super serious. That door is barred. What do we got here?
Great work.
Aha. Okay, what's the story? Automechanical home security control system. 0 mechanical set to charging routine. 6 set to patrol designated areas. Hostility level kill on site. Hostility override for owners active. List of valid owners. Alexander J. Frey. Let's see if we can put these things in charging cycle. That should, excuse me, make it a little bit easier to bounce around, because we need to get to that terminal and we can't just go straight through. We're going to have to go the long way around. Frey's Journal, Escape. I've had to start a new journal. I cannot read my previous entries without the whispers tempting me. The whispers do not stop. Every person I see, the whispers tell me to help them. They show me the pain and longing hiding in their eyes. They tell me how these people need the gifts I can give. All it would take is a few moments with a blade, a bright, bright, bright fountain of crimson to delight the eyes, and all of their pain would be gone. I could do it. I know how to help them. It gets harder and harder to stop myself. I saw a friend today, an old friend from school who's now a doctor for Auntie Cleo. I told him about my dreams. Nothing outright. Oh no, I'm not so foolish as that. I told him it was an old book I'd found and described my dreams and whispers as happening to a character in the book. I asked him how he'd help this character. He looked at me and he knew. The whispers told me to end his pain, that he'd tell. I got up and left quickly. I did not hurt him. Not. I have to leave Byzantium. He will tell. They'll come for me and lock me away. I must find a secret place, a place I can be alone, a place with no whispers. Well, this poor guy's got some serious problems. Bless him. Okay, let's see if... What? Oh. Easy now, don't hurt yourselves.
Nice.
All right. Now somewhere in here... Frey's journal, the source. The Whispers have a source, and I have found it. I have taken refuge on an orbital relay station. It is smaller than a worker's hovel, barely a few thousand square meters. But sufficient for my needs. I was able to flee Byzantium with enough bits to purchase supplies to last for decades. It was strange being among common people on the Groundbreaker. The Whispers barely stirred at the sight of their ill-fed, scarred, and unwashed bodies. If only there were fewer freighters docking there, bringing real people from Byzantium, I could almost have made a home free of temptation. Free. As I made this place livable, or as much as it can be, I started hearing the whispers from the relay terminal. They told me to listen to the voices traveling through the ether to reach me, calling out to me to help them, alone, lonely, needing my help. I found a way to power down the transmitter. No more voices in the ether, and no more whispers. They fell silent. This was not me. It's not. I am not this foul thing that I have feared for so long. It was the voices in the ether trying to make me hurt others, but I was stronger than they, and I have defeated them. Them! I have already begun making plans to return to my home. Now that the Whispers are defeated, I can resume my life again. I can't wait to return. I miss my family and co-workers so much, especially Delilah. Well, we at least now know why the relay activity from this station suddenly stopped. This Frey character shut the relays down. The station stopped transmitting. And basically the Groundbreaker lost one of its backup communications relays, which now puts them in a tight spot whenever
Nicely done.
the main relay goes behind that gas giant that Edna mentioned every 40 years or so. Oh, I see a dead body. Vicar, where are you at? Oh, there you are.
Oh, gosh. He's dead, ain't he?
Smells like old blood.
One more journal entry, looks like. Frey's journal, forgive me. I was so wrong. The whispers did not stop. Not. They have returned. They howl at me, demanding I return home and bathe the streets in crimson. Bright crimson, beautiful crimson. I can think of only one way to end this. End. Forgive me, Delilah. Poor bastard. Well, all right. let's get this sorted out. Okay. The Groundbreaker now has backup comms. And we can head back. Since we're in the area, kind of, sort of. Let's go see if we can find that fella that had the equipment the doctor on the Groundbreaker needed.
Destination reached. Scylla.
All right. This will be one of several.
This is real space, isn't it? Empty and silent. I never thought I'd see the like. I'd look up at night, but...
Can't walk 5 meters without stubbing your toe on a loose rock here.
Yep, this is it. As I was about to say, this is going to be one of several visits to Scylla. If you want to look fantastic in pink, you can wear Rizzo's branded armor. Or you can wear Auntie Cleo armor. Everybody's got their catchy slogan. Let's see if we can kind of avoid the drones. We've got to go over this way anyhow. Unfortunately,
Unexpected noise identified.
Here we go!
yay! Always nice to level up. Now, once you hit a certain score in respective skills, you can no longer collectively boost the entire category. Then you go to specifically putting it in certain skills. Aha. Anyway. Whoops. What does that armor look like? It looks suspiciously like... Oh, that's pretty cool. Since Vicar Max has taken a liking to Parvati. Let's put you in something slightly heavier so that you're a little bit better protected. And then let's set off in search of our associate, Captain Irian, whom Dr. Dorset very badly wants to see bring her supplies that she desperately needs. Yeah.
Down they go! Don't mess with us!
Multiple fractures, lacerations, and untreated burns detected. Signs indicative of sudden, violent crash landing.
Yep, that's me. No big deal. Just shrugging off my injuries as I stroll away from another flaming impact.
Also detecting constipation, hair loss, reduced fertility due to tight trousers. Recommend stimulant injection.
Hair loss? You take that back.
Well then, somebody might have a somewhat elevated opinion of themselves. Okay, I guess that's everybody. Constipation, hair loss, and infertility due to tight trousers.
Tremendous work, friend. Here I was readying a daring maneuver, and you've come and saved me the trouble.
Symptoms detected. Elevated heart rate, dilated pupils, increased sweat production. Subject appears to be terrified.
I'm not terrified, you bucket of bolts.
Oh, Jesus.
That's victory sweat. The one and only. Wait, who's asking? Wanda didn't send you, did she?
Yeah, she did.
I swear, land on Groundbreaker even a moment tardy, and that busybody's already been up your ass an hour. You tell her these automechs are coming, and sending a hired stooge to rescue me from certain peril only furthers my delay. No offense. Magnificent. And do please give Wanda my chilliest regards.
At the expense of being mildly difficult. Wanda is a doctor. And her time can be very precious. It's a fantastic shirt. So, her being impatient, in a hurry, whatever, is more than understandable. We will come back to Scylla soon and explore it a bit more extensively. For now, though, we are going to return to the Groundbreaker and inform Edna and Dr. Dorset that their respective tasks have been completed. What was that? Hostiles up on that other landing platform. But as I said, we'll be returning to Scylla soon. Just as an aside.
The Groundbreaker has approved our request for docking, Captain. You're free to disembark.
Hey, that pad down there, with the lights off, there are people unloading a ship.
Probably another sublight contract haul. Could be drugs, could be bootleg Aetherwave cartridges.
And they're just transferring cargo out where everyone can see?
Legal or not, somehow the company always has its paperwork in order.
And there's you a little hint that sublight is, for lack of a more elegant description, shady as hell.
Rizzo's mock apple cider. A hard cider or a hard
Were I a gambling woman, I'd wager you're responsible for my mechanical safe return. I can't thank you enough.
All right. And I'll get back to you, Ellie, don't worry.
CNP Force Pockets can be microwaved in 2.5 seconds. Force Pockets.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your
My comm center already got an update ping from the backup relay. I trust everything went smoothly.
Here's your data backup.
Thanks. That's odd. The only messages in the queue are encrypted ones. Looking at the transmission logs, the relay hasn't received a single unencrypted message in the past 36 months. Must be on account of some new security red tape. Well, whatever's the cause, the board and the Earth Minister will see it sorted. Thanks again for saving my derriere. I secured quite the payment authorization for you from Chief Junlei. Try not to spend it all in one place.
And that is yet another hint, going back to something I'd said earlier, that things might not be entirely okay back on Earth.
Following that series? The Hunt for the Wimbrel? The pirate ship?
Let's see.
I don't go in for talking serious.
That clears up some asides, helps the groundbreaker out a little bit more,
Now our CNP.
and improves our standing in the local community, which is always a positive. Let's see. That's an ongoing thing. The next place we will go will be to Roseway to explore what Auntie Cleo has been up to under the board's nose. But that's going to do it for this episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, drop a like, consider subscribing if you haven't already, so that you'll see my future videos. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or constructive criticisms, feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, I will see you in our next episode. Cheers.